This is the session for the luggage tag for the introduction to Leathercraft. So we have two pieces of leather here, and we're going to pop an eyelet in to make a nice neat fastening, and we're going to put a press stud in, and this means you can open up the tag and you can stick in there a piece of paper with all your details, and it's secure and kept on. If you wanted to make it absolutely secure, you could put another hole with a little padlock on it if you were going to use it for travelling, and you can just tie it onto your suitcase. This is a nice leather. It's called pebble grain. This is our Scotch grain, pebble grain firm calf leather in tan. Has a nice texture on the top. I'm going to pop the camera down. So we have the two pre-cut out shapes, and they have a hole punched out. The hole punches for this we've used is suitable for the 1/4 inch eyelets or 6mm. And then we have our little eyelet. So an eyelet is just a single piece like this, whereas a grommet has a washer that goes over the back. So with the eyelet, on the back of it, you tend to get a narrow kind of little bit showing, and that's the front. So we're going to pop the eyelet through, and you're pushing it through both layers. So you really want to really push down around those layers to get as much of that post shaft poking up as you can get. So just making sure that they're neat and around it. So giving it a good press, and then you get your eyelet dish. So your dish has a little recess, and the top of the eyelet will face down and sit in there like so. And then your setting tool. So every eyelet needs to have different size, needs its different size setting tool. So as I say, this one is for the 6mm. So you've got your little nubbin on the end there, is probably the easiest way to say, and that's going to sit in the center of that hole post like that. And then we're just going to give it several firm taps down, and that just sets the eyelet. And that's it. Nice and easy, but you do need the setting tool and the right size hole punch to match everything up together. So now we've done that bit, we're going to go on to doing the press studs. Now before we start, we need a hole for our press studs to go through. So we're going to go back to the poundo board. So general rule of thumb is if you're using a silver setting tool of any description, you use the marble stone block. If you're using a black punch tool, always use your poundo board. An old magazine is fine, but just something that's going to protect this punch. So we're just going to line it up and measure across, find our center point. So these pre-cut luggage tags are 6 centimeters. So I'm just going to come up about 1 centimeter from the bottom, find my center point and pop my punch there. And I'm going to punch through both layers at the same time. Okay, so in this example, these press studs are going like this, but often if you're doing them around a wristband or for a strap, they're going that way. So when you're setting them, just have a real think about which is opening and which is closing and where they need to be, because once they're set, especially if you've done them properly. So I'm going to go back to my anvil now. And you get 4 pieces when you're setting press studs. So you get a flat base dish, post, like a tall post. You get a flat little dish with a flat base. So those two are going to go together and sit over the top of each other. And then you get a rounded dome top, which is going to be the front, and a rounded little dish shape. So the 2 rounded ones go together, the 2 flat ones go together. So we're going to press that through and just drop that on the top there, and this is on the flat of the surface. And then with your fingers just holding it down, pop the setting tool. Again, it's got a much smaller nubbin, and again that nubbin's going to go in the center of that hollow post. And then with your little finger, you want to try to hold down that bottom bit of base, and keeping this as upright as you can. You'll give several firm taps, and then you roll it round. And that just helps the top part of the post to sort of roll over and, you know, kind of smooth over. Just check that there's no movement in it, that you've hit it down hard enough, it's not going anywhere. And then we're ready to do the top one. Now for the top one, we don't want to crush this dome, lovely smooth dome. So we're going to pop that through, and we're going to use this little mini, it's called a dot anvil, and I normally put some blue tack on to stop it sliding off the marble block. So we put that on in place, and then you position the domed cap and your little round piece over the top here. And again, you're just holding with your little finger it in position so it doesn't kind of move too much off center. And just get it by eye ready, and then same again, and then roll it. And then just check that it's not loose. You've got a firm fixing. And then those will clip together. Now they will be quite stiff to start. And you have your luggage tag. And as a final thing, you can add a little piece of length for tying on. Okay, this is one I made earlier with a bigger eyelet, and I decorated it with Posca pens, paint pens, just to give it a bit of individuality. So there's lots you could do. You could make it out of veg tan and carve and tool a pattern on it, or as I say, just decorated that one. So hope that helps you make your luggage tag. Thank you for watching.